friends! As we were reading Hamlet, I was really interested in the development of the relationship between Gertrude and Hamlet as the play went on. And so I was thinking about it a little bit, and I realized that the relationship that Gertrude and Hamlet share is kind of similar to the relationship between Manuela and Esteban in All About My Mother. We can visualize this using a diagram. Hamlet, that's H, and Esteban II, E, start at a common point. Both have experienced the absence of a father in their lives. However, when we look closer, the path each character took to reach this point is a little bit different. Hamlet experienced the loss of his father through death, specifically murder, while Esteban never even knew his father. But once they reach the same point, both act in similar ways. They look to their respective mothers for guidance and answers. Esteban merely wants to know about his father, whereas Hamlet wishes to know exactly what his mom is doing, marrying so soon after the old Hamlet's death. Does Gertrude know her husband was murdered? It doesn't seem likely. This is where things get a little bit more complicated because both mothers think that they know what's going on. Manuela, that's M, is correct in her belief because she is fully aware of her husband's change, while her son had no idea at all. However, Gertrude, G, really doesn't have any answers. She knows her husband died, but it's Hamlet who knows that he was murdered by Claudius. This leads us to a lot of conflicting ideas about what mothers are and what they should be like. On the one hand, we expect mothers to have all the answers and to help us. However, at the same time, as seen with Hamlet, the mother clearly does not necessarily know everything. This is exemplified in Hamlet during the bedchamber scene, when Gertrude changes radically from confident queen to mortified widow. The bedchamber scene is Act 3, Scene 4, by the way. When she and Hamlet speak frankly with each other, she begins boldly in line 10 by saying, "Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended." Hamlet refuses to give in to her supposed knowledge of what his father would like, because he knows what his father truly wants, because he's seen his ghost. In fact, he reveals so much to his mother that she later says, "O Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turn'st mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their tint." Gertrude's attitude towards her son changes completely when she realizes that he knows more than her, as reflected in her tone change. In a scene similar to the bedchamber scene, Esteban and his mother have a gritty conversation about what they would do for each other, in which Manuela hints at her past. Her past definitely includes his father, so Esteban's interested, but he definitely has no idea to what she's referring, and is only left wondering. Here, we see that Manuela has confirmed Esteban's view of her as a person with the answers, while Gertrude and Hamlet are the complete opposite. Although it seems as if both mothers would have answers, only one really does. This leads me to ponder the actions of the mothers. If Manuela seems independent, that would make Gertrude look very dependent upon the men in her life. After all, Gertrude even receives advice from Polonius, who's not even in her family, on how to interact with her son, while Manuela boldly runs away to take care of her son all by herself. On the other hand, Manuela does seek the advice of some friends, and Gertrude has been known to act independently occasionally. She does tell Polonius off a little tiny bit when he tries to tell her how to interact with her son, but it's not a whole lot. Much of this is ambiguous because of the format of these pieces. Both were written with an audience in mind, which limits the amount of information we can know definitely. There are no direct windows into Gertrude or Manuela's minds, which makes it difficult to say how much they are influenced by others. Because the audience can't be sure they know Manuela or Gertrude, it also makes it difficult to tell how well Hamlet and Esteban know their mothers. Esteban knows that there's a lot that he doesn't know about his mom, but he's very aware of her personal characteristics. Hamlet knows his mother's story better than she herself does, and as such, unfortunately assumes that he knows much more about her than he actually does. It seems as if many people feel this way, which would explain why Claudius and Polonius are so quick to advise Gertrude. Perhaps, if Gertrude had tried to keep some of her personal story a little bit more secret, it would have drawn her closer to Hamlet, because she'd be able to act of her own accord. At this point, it would be easy to say that in comparison to Manuela, Gertrude does not act independently, but one further piece of evidence complicates the matter. During Hamlet's duel with Laertes in Act 5, Scene 2, Gertrude picks up the poisoned wine and goes to drink it when Claudius commands her not to. She replies, "I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me." This last act of defiance on her part indicates that she knew something was wrong regarding the command, and her defiance is clearly independent of anyone else's wishes. It seems as if Gertrude, again, does not have all the answers because she proceeds to offer the cup to Hamlet. If she had known that it was poison, she probably would not have done that. However, despite this last mistake, her independence from Claudius was definitely asserted here. If interpreted as self-sacrifice to save her son, Gertrude's act of independence seems just as noble as Manuela's raising Esteban III. In conclusion, although it seems as if the sons served to highlight contradictions within their mothers, they also helped to resolve these contradictions by inspiring their mothers to establish and act independently.